Welcome back, everybody. Nicrason here. This is part 4, or episode 4, of Emberwood Bar Skyrim Special Edition Mod Development Mini-Series. If you've not seen the previous 3 episodes, I'll give you a quick recap. This is an open world player home mod, and it is modeled after this beautiful little structure right here. This is Micklegate Bar, which is located in the city of York, England. So it's not an exact replica of Micklegate Bar, but it's modeled after it, so you know what we're doing. And again, this is an open world player home mod. So there haven't been a whole lot of changes since the last video, but there is one significant one. First off, let's come down here. I put a door on the end here and put a floor in there. I may adjust this later on because I may level the terrain and lower that floor a little bit, but it's fine right now. And I talked about having that ladder hooked up so we can teleport to the upper level. That's been done. We'll look at that in a few minutes. This particular ladder right here is just a static object. There is a shorter ladder, I think I mentioned it before, that has a trapdoor attached to it, so it is a teleport device. It's a low door, effectively. This one is not, it's just a static object, but I've got it teleporting now. So, I also talked about putting a tower on the back corner of this building. And I went back and forth on that because I wanted to build a spiral staircase in that tower so we can get to all the levels and onto the roof. And I thought, man, if I include that, I'm going to have to do a lot of re-engineering. I'm going to have to re-engineer the entire corner of this building. And I thought, you know what, I'll just put some stairs inside to get from the first level to the second level to the roof. And looking at that, I realized that that was not going to be as easy as it sounds because, well, I'll show you in a few minutes. But the big problem with that is it takes up a significant amount of floor space when you put some stairs in here. And I mentioned before that it's not very big inside, but it's big enough. But if you have to take out a chunk of floor space for the stairs, now you start to have a little bit of a problem. So I went back to look at the tower again, and I was looking at what I was going to have to do to re-engineer the building, and it was like, oh man, I don't know how this is ever going to work. So I went back and looking at the stairs again, and it was just back and forth thing. But eventually I said the stairs just aren't going to work because it's just, well, they could, but it's just taking up so much floor space, and I really wanted the tower with the spiral staircase, so I built it. And there it is. Now, aside from all the little windows on the side, which I don't like, but I don't have a whole lot of options, this came out pretty good. And there is a hand-built spiral staircase in here. There's not one in the game that would really fit this and look the way I wanted it to look. And this piece is one I shown before in an earlier episode, what I'm building a tower out of. There's actually 4 pieces that make up a complete circle. So you put 3 of them down, you leave one of them off, and leave one of them out, and then you have your entryway. But these stairs right here, these are hand built, and we can this is, if you've ever been to a real castle or some of the old cathedrals that are dotted around Europe, especially, you've probably seen stairs like this. They're very steep, very narrow, and it's a very tight spiral. And I've seen some, I have some pictures of some. I think this replicates that pretty well. But here we come up to the first level, and I let these in here just to show what a problem these might become. If you look at this one, if I put these stairs in right here, yes, we can get on the stairs, but we're right up against the wall when we get near the top, and it's not very practical. And if I run it this way, it takes up a chunk of floor space because there's area underneath the stairs that aren't really usable. And it's also going to run in front of the windows, and I didn't like that. So that's why I was having the trouble I was having trying to decide what to do. Keep going up the stairs. And here we are at the upper level, and we got a fireplace in here now. And this actually worked out pretty well. I'm glad that you know, I have the walls as thick as they are, because this fireplace works perfectly. I can push it right into the wall. It doesn't stick out the other side, and it doesn't take up any floor space. So that worked out really well. But again, I had to do a little bit of re-engineering with the wall here, and a lot of holes I had to fill. But I was able to include this one and keep the windows. And that was one of the things about adding this tower. You can see I have a different window over here, because the last wall sections, they extended all the way into what would be the middle of the tower. So those had to go. That was part of the re-engineering thing. The wall sections all the way down this side and this side had to be removed for the tower. But it left a little bit of a gap. So instead of filling that gap and having no window on this side, I thought, well, you know, this is the living area. I'd kind of like a window. So I designed it this way, so we have a nice big, a larger window. And I re-engineered this stuff so I was able to keep this window. I didn't worry too much about the windows at the lower level where the crafting stations will be. That didn't concern me too much. But we can continue up these stairs. I don't know if these are not nav meshed, at least not yet. I probably will nav mesh them, but right now they're not. But I think the AI should be able to handle these stairs. Here's our chimney. I'm going to have to retexture that, I think. At least part of it. And we've got crenellations now, and I'm not entirely happy with these. They're okay, but I'm still looking for something better. These were all built from Imperial stone blocks. So they're okay. They look decent at a distance, not so much up close. But I'm going to keep looking for something a little bit better. They're really not that practical if you're looking at a realism standpoint, because they don't cover your whole body. They should be a lot taller. But yeah, they look okay. And we can go up the tower a little bit further, because, you know, why not? If you're going to have a tower, be able to get to the top of it. So here we are. Nice view. I mean, it's Riverwood, so, you know. But at this height, you can see quite a ways around. So that is it. This was, this took a fair amount of math, believe it or not, to make these stairs. And what I mean by that is, I'm going to bore you for a minute here, so fair warning. In order for these stairs to, essentially, when you get to the next floor, you want to be facing the floor, like we are right here. And not facing, you know, off in this direction or that direction. So we know where the stairs end, and we're going to have to begin the stairs where we can get to them. So I figured out, okay, I'm going 270 degrees around. I knew the elevation from one floor to the next, so then I had to figure out how many steps, how much separation in the steps, and what angle each step would have to be to go 270 degrees around to get from basically 256 units, which is one floor, to this floor. It was a bit of number crunching, but I'd figured this out once before in another mod that I was making, so I went with those numbers, and it worked out quite well. I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. But this is it. Hand-built spiral staircase. This actually, once I'd done the math and I knew where stuff had to go, It was a bit tedious, but it wasn't really all that difficult. But I like having the option of using the stairs or the teleport device right here. And we'll take a look at this one. And here we are on the lower level. Now I could put in another teleport device to get up to the next level, but I don't know. I haven't decided yet, but you know, as for now, I just wanted that to have a quick way to get up here, and then we can take the stairs up from there if we need to. And up on the roof, I'm probably going to put some plantable soils, but this is working. There we go. Quick way up to the crafting area. We probably spend more time in the crafting area than the living area anyway, so that's important. That's why it's on the lower level. Now, in order to make this work, I did not make this ladder into a teleport device, which I think it probably could have been done, but I took the trapdoor off a ship. I think that's what it's called in Creation Kit, a ship trapdoor. And it's unlike the other ones that you see around on the floor. This one's vertical. It's like tipped up on its side. And I made a duplicate of that, and I changed the texture to the null texture set. And the null texture set essentially means no texture, so you can't see it. And I pushed it up. It's right here. It's right here against the ladder. And I got the same thing up there. So it's there, but you can't see it. But you can hear the sound a little bit. It doesn't make a whole lot of sound, but that's what it is. There's a couple of trapdoors there. Alright, so from this point, I'm still going to make a few adjustments to the exterior. I'll point those out in the next video. I'm not going to get into all that right now. But there's just some small changes. I might put some stones here on the corners just for more of a decorative thing. Improve the... wait, I said I wasn't going to go into all this. I'll probably improve the portcullis grooves and put a small column right here under the corner where the end of the archway is. Something like that. And then get to work on the interiors. Get the crafting stations in place. And get that one all set up and nav meshed. And then start on the player's home, the upper level. So that's essentially what I wanted to show, was the staircase. It was, like I said, it was a fair amount of re-engineering. I still need to remove this wall section and put a doorway in here because we have an arrow loop right here that we don't have access to at the moment. So I'll fix that in the next episode. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Let's get a quick little aerial view of it. Now, aside from the tower on back, it's looking pretty close to Micklegate. But again, it's not meant to be an exact replica of Micklegate, just a built in that style, using that as a reference. So, yeah, pretty happy with how it's coming together. Alright, I think that's going to do it for now. I've got more work to do, get started on the interior and get things in place and get the interior done. Then it's just a matter of going through and checking everything and make sure everything's working right and make sure the nav mesh is done right, and then that'll be it. So it's come along pretty well. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in episode 5.